There is nothing more attractive than a man who knows who he is and what he carries. A man who does not beg for validation but assumes his worth with quiet certainty. You see, the world does not respond to the man who chases. It responds to the man who believes. The most magnetic force in a man is not his looks, his wealth, or even his words. It is the energy of knowing that he is already chosen, already powerful, already in possession of all he desires. Because when a man commands his reality, when he walks with unshakable faith, everything and everyone around him begins to shift. He does not wait for permission. He does not wonder if he is enough. He assumes the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the world bends to match his assumption. The most attractive man is the one who walks as if he has already been chosen. He does not seek approval, he does not beg for attention, and he does not entertain doubt about his worth. He simply is. This is the secret that separates men who magnetize everything they desire from those who struggle and grasp. The man who sees himself as already chosen does not need to prove himself to anyone, because in his mind, he has already arrived. Everything in life moves according to assumption. The man who assumes he is valuable will be treated as valuable. The man who assumes he is desirable will be desired. This is not arrogance. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing rather than hoping. The moment you step into the feeling of already being chosen, the world will rearrange itself to reflect that belief. Women, opportunities, and wealth will gravitate toward you because you are no longer chasing, you are simply allowing what is already yours to manifest. Most men get it backward. They think they need external confirmation before they can feel worthy. They wait for the job offer to feel successful. They wait for a woman's attention to feel attractive. They wait for money in their bank account to feel abundant. But this is an illusion. Reality does not work that way. You do not receive and then believe. You believe first and then you receive. The man who understands this becomes dangerous. He no longer moves like the rest. He no longer needs to convince anyone of his value because his presence alone does the talking. There is an effortless power in a man who does not seek but rather knows. He does not walk into a room hoping to be liked. He walks in knowing he belongs. He does not pursue opportunities out of desperation. He knows they will come because he expects them to. And expectation is everything. The world mirrors back to you what you expect from it. If you expect rejection, you will receive it. If you expect indifference, it will manifest. But the moment you shift your assumption to, I am already chosen, reality must obey. Women are drawn to a man who feels chosen because it signals to them that he has options. And a man with options is a man who cannot be easily swayed, manipulated, or thrown off his course. His energy is different. He does not react emotionally when someone tests him. He does not overextend himself to prove his worth. He is relaxed, certain, and in control. Not because he is trying to be, but because he has already accepted within himself that he is enough. This is what makes him attractive. He radiates the energy of a man who has already won, and that energy is irresistible. Women can sense it, employers can sense it, the entire universe responds to it. The man who sees himself as already chosen does not hope for recognition. He commands it simply by being. He moves in the world with an inner knowing that cannot be faked, and that is what draws people to him. If you want to be this man, stop waiting for proof. Stop looking for someone to validate you. Stop thinking that something outside of you needs to change before you can feel chosen. The only thing that needs to change is the way you see yourself. The moment you assume the identity of a man who is already selected, already wanted, already valuable, your world will transform to match that assumption. This is not theory, this is law. What you assume to be true must become true. Walk like you are already chosen. Move as if you already have everything you desire. Stop chasing and start embodying. The world will not be able to resist you. A man who commands his reality is the man who understands that everything in his life is a direct reflection of his inner world. He does not move through life reacting to circumstances, feeling powerless, or waiting for things to change. Instead, he creates the change by first shifting his assumptions. He knows that his thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are not passive. They are the very forces shaping his existence. The moment he decides who he is and assumes it to be true, the external world must bend to match his assumption. Most men live as if they are at the mercy of life. They believe success is about luck, attraction is about genetics, and opportunity is something that either happens to them or doesn't. They do not realize that they are the cause and everything else is just the effect. But the man who understands that he commands his reality operates differently. He does not beg for attention. He does not wait for permission. And he does not hesitate in uncertainty. He assumes the role of the man he wishes to be. And because of that assumption, the world treats him accordingly. There is no force more attractive than a man who moves as if he is already exactly where he wants to be. He does not need to prove himself because he already sees himself as a man of value. He does not fear rejection because he knows that he is the one selecting, not the one waiting to be selected. His energy is powerful yet effortless because he understands that confidence is not something you build, it is something you claim. And once claimed, it becomes reality. This man knows that everything begins in the mind. If he desires wealth, he first assumes himself to be wealthy. He carries himself as a man who has financial abundance. And because he operates from that state of being, opportunities begin to appear. If he desires a woman's affection, he does not ask himself if he is good enough. He assumes that he is already wanted, already desired, already irresistible. And because he believes it, the world reflects it back to him. Most men make the mistake of believing that effort alone will change their reality. They work harder, they try to impress, they chase, they strive, but true power does not come from effort alone. It comes from alignment. When a man aligns his thoughts, emotions, and self-perception with the version of himself that he wants to be, life moves effortlessly in his favor. He does not need to force anything. He only needs to become the man who already has what he desires. This is why the most magnetic men are those who do not need anything from anyone. They are not chasing money because they already feel abundant. They are not chasing love because they already feel desired. They are not trying to prove their worth because they already know they are worthy. And because they move from this place of certainty, everything they once desired starts moving toward them. To command your reality is to take full responsibility for your life. It is to abandon all victimhood, all doubt, and all hesitation. It is to decide who you are and walk in that truth until the world has no choice but to recognize it. This is the way of the man who creates his life instead of merely reacting to it. He does not wait for circumstances to change. He changes them by first changing himself. The moment you decide that you are already the man you wish to be, your reality will begin shifting in ways you never thought possible. Walk as if you already have everything you desire. Speak as if you are already that man. Assume it, embody it, and watch as the world follows. A man who commands his reality understands that life does not happen to him, it happens through him. He does not wait for circumstances to dictate his actions, nor does he rely on the opinions of others to determine his worth. He decides, and the world conforms. He moves with the quiet certainty that what he believes about himself will be reflected in his experiences. He does not seek approval, validation, or permission. He simply knows that his assumptions shape his world, and so he deliberately chooses the thoughts and beliefs that serve him. Most men drift through life believing they are at the mercy of fate, luck, or external forces. They react to situations thinking that success, wealth, and attraction are things they must earn or chase. But the man who commands his reality does not operate from a place of lack. He does not chase, he attracts. He does not seek, he assumes. He knows that his mind is the ultimate creative force, and whatever he accepts as true within himself must become true in the world around him. This man does not question whether he is good enough. He does not hesitate before entering a room, wondering how others will perceive him. He decides who he is in advance, and because he believes it, others do too. His energy is different. He does not have to try to be noticed because his mere presence is enough. There is something about him that people cannot quite explain, but they feel it. His confidence is effortless, not because he has something to prove, but because he knows he already is. He understands that confidence is not built by external success. It is built by internal certainty. The man who commands his reality does not wait until he has wealth to feel wealthy. He does not wait until he is admired to feel valuable. He embodies the feeling first. And because he carries that energy, his external world reshapes itself to match. If he wants success, he does not hope for it. He assumes it. If he desires respect, he does not demand it, he radiates it. If he seeks love, he does not plead for it, he knows he is already worthy of it. And that knowing draws people to him effortlessly. Most men think they need to work harder, do more, prove themselves to the world in order to be seen as valuable. But effort alone does not create attraction, success, or power. Alignment does. The moment a man aligns his thoughts, emotions, and identity with a version of himself that already possesses everything he desires, life begins to unfold in his favor. He does not have to fight for opportunities, they appear. He does not have to chase people, they gravitate toward him. This is not luck, and it is not coincidence. It is the law of assumption in action. To command your reality is to refuse to be a passive participant in your own life. It means taking responsibility for every aspect of your existence and choosing to see yourself as the cause, not the effect. There is no waiting, no hoping, no wishing. There is only deciding and embodying. The moment you step into the feeling of already being the man you aspire to be, the world will respond accordingly. People will treat you differently. Opportunities will arise. Success will feel effortless. Not because the world has suddenly changed, but because you have changed. The most powerful man in the room is not the loudest. He is not the one trying the hardest. He is the one who knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that his reality bends to match his assumptions. He does not need to force anything. He does not need to convince anyone. He is simply being. And that state of being is so potent that everything he desires moves toward him as if it had no choice. Walk as if you already have everything you seek. Speak as if you already are everything you desire to be. Assume it, live in it, and watch as the world follows. A man who moves with unshakable faith is a man who has already won before the world even sees it. He does not waver between doubt and belief, nor does he allow external circumstances to dictate his confidence. He understands that faith is not just something you have, it is something you embody. He does not hope for success, love, or recognition. He knows they are already his. And because he moves in that knowing, everything he desires moves toward him effortlessly. Most men are controlled by what they see. They allow the absence of money to convince them they are broke, the lack of attention from women to convince them they are undesirable, the setbacks in life to convince them they are failing. But the man who operates with unshakable faith understands a deeper truth. Reality is nothing more than a reflection of his inner state. He does not let temporary circumstances shake him because he knows they are just the result of past thought. Instead of reacting, he assumes his wish fulfilled and persists in that state until the world aligns with his vision. There is a calm, steady power in a man who does not entertain doubt. He does not ask, will this work? He decides that it already has. He does not wonder, am I enough? He walks as if he already knows he is. This unwavering certainty is what makes him magnetic. People can feel it in his presence. Women sense it in his energy. Opportunities present themselves to him because the world respects a man who believes in himself with absolute conviction. Faith is not something you turn on and off when it is convenient. It is a state of being. A man with unshakable faith does not pray for a better life and then immediately worry about how it will happen. He does not affirm his greatness and then act out of insecurity. He is consistent in his belief. He does not need to see proof because his faith is the proof. He lives in the end result before it has even materialized, and because of that, the world has no choice but to catch up to his assumption. Most men are slaves to their emotions. When things go well, they feel powerful. When things go wrong, they crumble. But the man who has mastered faith does not fluctuate like the rest. He remains steady. He understands that emotions are fleeting, but his belief is the foundation. When things do not go his way, he does not panic. He simply reminds himself who he is, knowing that nothing can shake what has already been decreed in his mind. This kind of faith creates a presence that cannot be ignored. A man who walks with certainty does not need to speak loudly. His energy does the talking. He does not need to chase anyone or anything. His belief pulls what he desires toward him. He is not desperate for approval, love, or success because he already sees himself as someone who has all of it. This is what makes him so attractive. People want to be around a man who knows himself. They want to be in the presence of someone who moves as if everything he touches turns to gold. If you want to develop this kind of presence, you must train yourself to ignore the noise of the outside world. You must learn to trust in what you do not yet see and walk as if it is already done. Do not look to others for validation. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you believe in yourself. Decide now, assume now, move now. Because the moment you step into the reality of the man you wish to be, life will reshape itself to match that assumption. The world does not follow those who doubt, it follows those who believe without hesitation. Choose to be that man. Assume your success before it happens. Carry yourself with the faith of someone who already has everything he desires. Speak, move, and live in the end. And watch as the world falls into place around you. A man who embodies quiet strength does not need to announce his power. He does not seek attention, nor does he demand respect. Instead, his presence alone commands it. He understands that true strength is not in how loud he speaks, how much he boasts, or how aggressively he asserts himself. It is in the control he has over himself. He does not react impulsively,